Welcome, everybody out there in the internet, to episode 94. The countdown continues.
Woo, woo, woo.
Of Sis and Big Pops culture, the countdown to episode 100. As always, I am Todd Turner, Mosaic Fan Art, also known as Big Pops.
And hi, sweet friends. My name is Hannah Jo, aka Sis, and together we are an adult daughter and father duo. We dive into all things geek, nerd, and family. Every episode is family friendly.
Fun music. I don't know how to do the countdown. It's like 10, 9, 8, but we're going like 94. I wish we would have started with episode 100.
No,
10,
because
9,
then
8, 6, 5, 4, 3,
we
2,
would have
1.
run out.
What do you mean?
Well, we could only do 100 episodes then.
Oh, then we could do volume 2.
The 200.
See, Legacy 100 and
Let's not do the legacy numbers because that gets on my ever-loving last nerve.
It's confusing. All right, Hannah, tell everybody what we do here.
Sweet friends, hi! We are going to start by chitter-chatting about some of our nerd news that we think is interesting and sharing with each others. We're going to chat about what we've been binging. Pops is going to share his pull list with us. We have a comic we're going to review, and depending on time, I might Rotten Raspberry Dad. We will see.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Rotten Raspberry. For those of you who don't know what that means she spoils a movie for me.
Hey.
Yeah, she rotten raspberry. Because raspberries rotten are nasty.
And they ruin the whole bunch.
They do. I mean, because like really old bananas, you can make great bread and ice cream with them.
Molded raspberries, you just got to throw the whole bin away.
I don't know that I've ever seen a molded banana. Have you?
I have.
Okay, well, I would hate to even see what that would be. Hannah,
it was awful, Dad.
Hey,
it was awful.
All right. Okay, well, don't. Well, let's get straight into it.
Yes.
We will start the day off with nerd news to us. Do you like my vibrato?
Love it.
I'm working on
I'm a fan of the vibrato.
Hannah, live from the news desk. Our typewriters are going hot and heavy. What do you got for me?
Disney D23 happened.
Yeah. Do you want to know what I'm most excited for?
Yes. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. You tell me what you're most excited for.
No. Guess what I am most excited for?
I don't know. I'll be right back.
All right. I am most excited for Incredibles 3. I don't know if you all know this or not, but I love The Incredibles. And The Incredibles are the closest thing to a great Fantastic Four movie that we've ever had. I've always said that that's the best Fantastic Four movie in the world. The second movie was they're a great family movie. And even if you they mimic most, except for Jack being, or not Jack, but the speedster. But you get the Elastigirl, you get the big strong guy, you get the invisible girl. So the speedster basically takes the shape of a fire person because you can't have a little kid as a fire person. So that is that. That is what I am most excited for. So yeah, Hannah Jo had to step out for a minute. She's back.
Yes.
Is that a happy phone call?
That was a happy phone call. Y'all,
right, good deal.
I love art and I'm a needle art girly. That is my art craft of choice. I love like yarn or like cross stitching or anything like that. And I had made a baby announcement and was getting it framed as a present for one of my cousins who just had a baby. And I thought that they had lost the frame.
Yes. So
my husband went to go pick it up and they couldn't find it.
Oh gosh, but now it's been found.
It's been found.
I was just saying, our friend,
whom all blessings flow.
All right. Our friend Jonathan in the chat just said you left in my moment of greatest excitedness.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. So for those of you who are listening on an audio medium, Hannah has no idea what I just talked about.
I don't. I had to step out. I apologize.
What do you think I'm most excited about in other than Marvel news?
Incredibles 3.
Yes, way to go. 100%.
I knew. I know you.
All right. Go ahead and tell me what you got.
Zootopia 2.
I saw that. Is that Disney? That ain't Disney, is it?
That's Disney Pixar. No, it's not. It is Disney. It's just
Disney
straight
Animation Studios.
Disney Animation Studios.
I saw that. You know who the villain is?
A person whose name I recognized, but I don't remember.
He became super big and back in Everywhere, Everything, All at Once.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Passport. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Passport 2. You're thinking of Around the World in 80 Days with Jackie Chan.
I was like, Passport 2, but that's not Jackie Chan. I know Jackie Chan.
Shot something. Oh, gosh, it was in Indiana Jones.
He's in Indiana Jones.
Anyway,
it was really cute.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Zootopia 2, Incredibles 3, Toy Story 5.
Oh.
Toy Story 5. And they're bringing like new toys. Well, of course they are.
Like
new
video
toys.
games?
Like,
that's
yeah, is it going to
now.
be someone's carrying around a tablet and the tablet talks? Like what? Like what?
Hold on, I just knocked stuff over.
I'm sorry, that was mean. That was mean of me. Okay, Frozen 3.
Oh, I didn't know they were doing that either.
And it's giving old school beauty Sleeping
stuff?
Beauty.
Oh, Sleeping Beauty.
Like
okay.
the concept art is looking like old school Sleeping Beauty.
Okay.
Gotcha. Like that type of like style and vibe. But I don't think they're going to change the vibe halfway through.
I like the animation in Sleeping Beauty. I think it's great.
It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And different than all the others.
A live action Lilo and Stitch.
I didn't know about that.
Lilo and Stitch has a bit of a cult following.
They do. That's weird. I mean, like grown people with tattoos and stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Marianne
like big.
and Caleb.
Oh, bunch of freaking weirdies.
They love. In fact, for their child's first birthday, I got their child a Lilo and Stitch plush.
Isn't their child named Lilo?
No.
I know. I'm just kidding. I knew it wasn't.
I know. I didn't want to like discuss their child on a platform where other people could know who
That's
the child
true.
is
Absolutely.
without talking to them about it. So I'm like, oh, I changed my language really quick.
Way to go. Good job on that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Did you see the commercial for the Win or Lose animated TV show that's coming out?
So I actually put this down as part of my news too.
Okay. You tell me about it then.
So it is Pixar's first ever original series.
Animated series.
And it is about a middle school softball team.
It looks like a co-ed softball team too.
Yes, co-ed. I believe it's middle school.
It looks middle school.
And I guess we're going to get different characters, different perspectives throughout the show. And it gave off a lot of Scott Pilgrim type vibes.
It was big Scott Pilgrim vibes. Okay, so the reason that Pixar introduced their like Pixar shorts was so that they could utilize different animation strategies and skills, so they could try out new technologies and do all of these different things. That's why they started doing the Pixar shorts. And it also was a way to allow people within Pixar to practice directing, but on a smaller scale.
Yeah.
Was the way that they introduced shorts. This looks like, to me, in my eyes, this looks like a series of interconnected shorts. Because in the trailer, all
like
of the
movie
animations,
shorts?
Yeah, like all of the animation styles were different.
With a combined thread.
But with a combined thread. So that's the vibe I'm getting. I'm interested to know or to like see if the directors are going to be different, if the artists are going to be different, if they're going to use different like animating skills and styles.
I thought they were going to be different styles within the same episode, but you're saying it could be possibly.
I think it might be.
Each episode could be a different style.
Each episode is a different style because what I've heard is that what I read was that it's going to be a bunch of different people's perspectives with a bunch of different types of animation. So maybe that means one character has one type of animation and another character has another type of animation and it's all happening in the same episode. Or maybe it's a bit like the movie Wonder, where it's
Oh, yeah.
a person's name and then you follow their story. And it's
Gotcha.
a person's name and you follow
Right.
their story.
Okay.
All while the central storyline is happening.
Gotcha. All right.
I'm hoping it's that one. I'm hoping it's the second one. I want it to be each episode is so different, but also the same thread. I think that would be visually interesting.
They will be the same thread. I guarantee that.
Oh,
But
of course.
I don't know which I would like better. I don't know. I'm interested. I definitely want to watch it. All right. What else you got?
Okay. This is interconnected to what I've binged this week. Is that okay?
Sure.
So I was scrolling on Instagram, getting all of these reels about all of this info from the D23 Expo. And I'm scrolling and I stop because I'm like, I think that's Milo Thatch. Like that
Who's that?
looks like
Who's that? I
that
don't know
looks
who
like
that
a
is.
person who looks like Milo Thatch.
I don't know who Milo Thatch
Yes,
is.
I'm about to tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, I love you. Milo Thatch is the main character from Atlantis, The Lost Empire.
Gotcha. Yes. Okay. Yes, you're right.
And so I'm scrolling and I have to turn my phone. I'm looking at my phone up and down, and then I have to turn it sideways and like zoom in so that I can see if it is Milo Thatch or not. And so I watched this like trailer halfway behind someone's head.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Of a live action Atlantis.
Really?
The Lost Empire.
They did this at
But
D23?
They did not announce anything at D23. So
Is that not Disney?
it is Disney. It came out in 2001. Atlantis, The Lost Empire came out in 2001.
So do you think it's real?
So is it real
Or are you just being trolled?
or am I being trolled? Because if it's not real, I'm angry. If I'm
Well,
being trolled, I'm a frustrated girly. Because Atlantis is one of my favorite Disney movies of all time.
that's hilarious.
It is a movie when I was...
You have memories. You have memories about going to see it.
I have memories. No, that was Treasure Planet.
You're right. That was Treasure
very
Planet.
similar vibes.
That's hilarious.
This is awful. I had a rule when I was dating that the guys that I was dating had to watch Hercules and Atlantis with me and see if they could deal with me while I watched both of them.
Did you see if they would open the car door for you too?
No, that was a no. This was just something there's two movies that I really liked. And so I would watch them with the guys that I dated.
Deal. I would probably make, if I had to redate somebody, I'd probably make them watch Day After Tomorrow.
You'd make, I mean, hey,
Oh, that's hilarious.
great movie.
It
But
is a great
so
movie.
I love
So
that movie
live action
so much.
We're going to have to do some investigative reporting.
So investigative reporting, I don't think it's happening.
We're going to dig. I'm going to dig into it. I'm
Okay,
gonna find
I
out.
tried to dig into it and all I found was, we don't know.
Oh, gotcha.
I was like, how rude.
Yeah, it's probably
But I would love it.
fake news. Fake news.
Fake news.
Mhm.
Okay. I also have a ton of news about stuff that's coming to the Disney theme parks, but I will wait because that's the last bit of news that I have.
Well, I have a part of that, but we'll wait on that. So,
Okay, go.
Paramount Global are doing cutting costs, and they have shut down their TV studios. Here's the shows that you know that have come from that the Paramount TV studios: Station 11,
Oh, man.
Reacher, Jack Ryan, A Series of Unfortunate Events. I mean, there's some. Are we not going to get another season of Reacher?
We're getting another
Or will
season
it
of Reacher. I'm
It'll
not
get
worried
picked up
about
by
that at
another
all.
studio, you think?
Well, it was given, I thought it was an Amazon Prime TV show.
But it was made through the Paramount TV studios. So I don't know how that works. Who knows?
I don't either.
I don't have no idea how that works. But yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Are they making any movie? Are they making any money from their streaming service?
I don't know. No clue whatsoever. I don't know. They don't tell us.
I heard that
Are
it
the
was
only
going to be
people on
bought
the-
by Max.
What?
Paramount.
Oh, I don't know. Paramount? I bet you they would never allow Paramount to be bought by Max.
Why?
It'd be an antitrust thing because it'd be one big, huge studio bought by another studio. So, well, I mean, they may as well because Disney bought
Disney
Fox,
has
right?
bought everything, and they're not going to let Max buy that.
Yeah, who knows?
Come on, HBO. Come on, our 6 HBO execs.
Come on, they're in the room with us right now.
Have a make it work moment.
Make it work. Deadman, who I love. We've talked about him briefly.
I was going to say, I know Deadman. I was like,
do you know
I that.
Deadman? Though they are developing a animated series.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, so the Deadman character is a DC comic character who is dead. He was a trapeze artist and he was killed and given the ability to inhabit other people and take over their
not
abilities by the Hindu goddess Ramakrishna.
I hate it.
I know, but
don't take over my body. Love Hannah.
That was a whole deal in one of the Night Terror crossovers where he took over Batman's body. And then after he left, Batman was so wore out that he stayed in a coma for like a week because he just pushed his body to the limit the whole entire time.
He just said, I need a big old nap.
Listen, Deadman had a really good thing in the Nightwing issue just recently. Because, Robin's parents were killed. They were trapeze.
Yes. So
Boston Brand was like his mentor. They retconned that. Anyway, it was really cool. I keep dropping my news. Back here, news.
Come back. Get back here, news.
Oh, there. So I don't know if you know this or not, but I learned this. So Marvel and DC own the copyright or trademark of the term superhero.
Okay.
Yeah, didn't know that. But like there is a humongous list of the last 40 years where people have tried to use like superhero vitamins. No. And they've sued them and like they've either almost all of them have been withdrawn. You know what I mean? But apparently, so DC and Marvel went in together to do this. So we didn't think they could do anything together, right? So apparently a guy who makes this comic book in Australia called Super Babies has filed a lawsuit against them because they forgot to file some paperwork on time and might have lost the ability to keep superheroes.
As they should have.
And he's taken it. And it's funny because in his lawsuit, he even has panels from different comics where they say everyone can be a superhero. No, like Fantastic Four. He's got Fantastic Four comics. He has Justice League comics.
I'm dead.
He has Image, all these different comics, and use in his little in his petition or whatever. So I didn't even know about that. But anyway,
the word superhero.
Yeah.
Well, did you hear about Sierra Mist?
No. What about Sierra Mist?
Which
I don't drink, by the way.
There's a woman. It doesn't exist.
Unless they want to sponsor us.
Sierra Mist does not exist. It cannot sponsor us because there was a woman whose name was Sierra Mist. And they sent her a cease and desist. And she was like, this is my literal name. Like, I can't cease and desist my name, but thank you.
Gotcha.
And they forgot to file paperwork. And so she took over the copyright for Sierra Mist.
Which is now why we have Starry.
And refused to sell it to them. And they were like, okay. And then now we have Starry. They changed the thing just a little bit. And then they changed the name and have completely rebranded.
That's so
Sierra
funny.
Mist is Starry.
That's like when John Fogerty, the lead singer of Creedence Clearwater Revival, put out his single album, the people who own the rights to Creedence Clearwater, which is where he was the lead singer, sued him
because he sounded too much like it.
Yeah, of course he's
like, because I'm the lead singer, my guy.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So anyway, John Fogerty won that. Yeah, I had only two more pieces of news. One of them is. My cousin Matt's in the chat. If you guys don't know this and you're listening to it on audio media, you can listen to us on Tuesdays or join in live on Facebook. Marvel is taking over Fortnite this season.
How do we feel about it? Marvel, Fortnite, Marvel.
Don't watch Fortnite, which probably means we'll get a terrible comic book with that'll be poly bag that you can open up and get a special code to become Doctor Doom. Because I'm betting it's going to be Doom related.
I heard something about Doom and
Yeah, that Doom was that Tony Stark was supposed to be in Deadpool Wolverine, and they pulled it because of the Doom information.
not.
Yeah,
Do you
that.
know the spoiler that I haven't told you because I don't want to ruin it?
Who, Channing Tatum as?
No.
Oh, then no, don't. Listen, yes, here's the deal. This is news too. Saturday was terrible for me. And here's why. Because another podcast I like to listen to about comics, when I'm at work, I'll put it on the background while I'm working. They're like, we're going to spoil Deadpool Wolverine. So I couldn't listen, which was a bummer. The worst part was, like, Friday night, all of a sudden, my local comic book shop, Heroes Realm, which opens at noon on Saturdays, said, we're opening at 10. We're like, why? Well, because Jim Lee, the chief creative officer of DC Comics, of all their entertainment and comics and the shows and everything, is going to be at our store for 2 hours.
Oh, Dad.
So the head guy from DC Comics was at Heroes Realm.
And you had
Saturday
work.
from 10 to noon, and I had to flip and work.
I'm so sorry.
I know. So, and apparently it was his birthday, and they brought him, they had him, the people, like the first ones in the door, they brought him a cake and they sang to him and everything. So
that would have been really cool, and I'm so sorry.
I know, that stinks. All right, my last bit of news.
I have a ton of news about the Disney parks.
Well, last bit of my news.
Okay, go.
Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's official.
What about it?
We're not getting another one. But Brad Winderbaum, who is the head of Marvel TV streaming and animation, said, they were like, so where does Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fit? And he's like, it's a wonderful show that fits great within this multiverse. How lame is that? That's it. Just a cop out.
I need you to know.
BT Dubs, before we go any further, my cousin Matt, who runs a comic book shop, says he's not heard anything about any terrible Fortnite comics coming out on the radar. So there you go. I need you to know.
Dad, how do I feel about the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show?
Oh, I love it. Just like me. It's great. I love it.
I'm obsessed with that TV show. When that TV show was coming out, I used to do nothing on Friday nights. I was a 24-year-old girl living in a city by myself, doing nothing on Friday nights at 8 p.m. so that I could
watching Coulson and crew.
Show. I would do a face mask and I would have a gin and tonic and I would watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's good. That's a way to do it.
That's how I lived my life, if anyone was wondering. And it is a wonderful TV show. It is crazy. It's crazy.
I think I may rewatch it.
So good.
All right.
I care so much about it. Okay. There's so much happening in the Disney parks.
Yeah.
There's a Villain's Land coming to Magic Kingdom.
Okay. All right.
I want to know what they're getting rid of.
I have a
What are they getting rid of, Dad?
I don't know, but I think I know what they're getting rid of for the new Monsters Incorporated.
Do you think that they're going to get rid of Muppets?
I do. I think Muppets are gone.
No, Muppets. It's so cute there. It's so cute there. They're getting rid of Tom Sawyer Island.
That's fine. I didn't even know anything about it.
I don't care that much about that. But there are people that are up in arms about it. Magic Kingdom is getting a new nighttime parade because they haven't had a nighttime parade since we were like children when we went over.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I get that. Why change it? I mean, it's fine.
They got rid of it. Tokyo has it. They haven't done a nighttime. They don't have a nighttime parade right now.
Really?
In Magic Kingdom.
We went to one.
They haven't had it.
And that was 18, 19 years ago.
I was in fourth grade.
I think it was 19 years ago.
Oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. There are 2 Cars attractions coming to a new section of Frontierland. One will be a thrilling ride through the mountains. So my question for that is, are they revamping Great Thunder Mountain Railroad and making it into a Cars ride?
Could be. But I tell you what, I love that part at the end of the first Cars where they're driving, he and Sally are driving through the mountains. That's
sweet.
really cool.
It's
It is
sweet.
cool and
So I
sweet.
think
Yeah.
that will be cool. There's a family friendly ride that's also coming.
Don't know what it's about.
There's the Monsters Inc. Land will be the
Yeah.
Disney's first ever hanging door coaster.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw pictures of the whatever, the art or whatever, promo or whatever.
There is the Tree of Life is not going to be Bug's Life. It's going to be Zootopia.
Okay.
They're getting rid of
All right.
bugs and it's going to be Zootopia.
That makes sense. I mean, but Bug's Life was cool. That's a great movie.
There is going
I had to admit it, but
be-
I like Bug's Life better than Zootopia.
I like Bug's Life better than Zootopia.
But the
No offense,
Zootopia
Zootopia.
with the Breaking Bad nod in there is classic.
Very funny. The
But
Godfather
anyway.
nod.
Yeah, that too.
They had so many nods in that movie.
They did so many.
It was a young girl who was the Godfather. It was
Yes, that's
like
so
it was
funny.
like an 8-year-old girl who was that little guy's voice. It's a nice
Oh wow,
like
that's
an 8-year-old girl who was doing the talking. The first ever Encanto themed ride through attraction is coming to Disney's Animal Kingdom. You are going to be inside Casita, and Antonio, the boy who learns that he can talk to animals at the very beginning of that movie, you are going through his room.
So
So it's a
here's-
rainforest, and you're like going through his room.
I don't know how I feel about all these.
Can I
Keep
tell you the
going. You
one
got
that's
more.
killing me?
Keep going. Keep going. Yeah.
Indiana Jones attraction, also in Animal Kingdom. They're getting rid of the Dino Land spot in Disney's Animal Kingdom. We know that spot exists because we went over there, and that's where we did the breakfast
Oh, that's right.
when we
I
were
remember that.
little.
Right. But that little spot over there was
It's not well used.
no, and it sort of felt like a little carnival type atmosphere.
Yeah,
They had like carnival
so
games.
they're
and stuff
getting
like
rid
that.
of a lot of the stuff right there. There's going to be an Indiana Jones attraction. It takes place inside of an ancient Mayan temple. It uses the same vehicle as the ride in Dinosaur, and Dinosaur is being phased out.
Okay.
Which Dinosaur is also one of those like OG Disney like rides, like people that
the
like
Hall
enjoy.
of Presidents.
A
Country
new
Bear
test track
Jamboree.
opening in 2025. A Spaceship Earth Lounge is going to come to Epcot. There's going to be a Pirates of the Caribbean themed tavern from all ages that's going to be opening in Magic Kingdom. And there's a Mandalorian story that's coming to Galaxy's Edge.
So I'm afraid that I don't know. I mean, I get it.
This is the biggest bunch of expansion for the parks that they've ever announced.
I'm afraid they're going to cut out so many of the things that old farts like that it'll be a struggle for them to enjoy the, spending $150 a ticket or more.
Yeah.
I mean, because right now, I mean, when we went, it was sort of like, intergenerational. Everything was intergenerational, and this seems more geared towards the new, and while getting rid of the old. So they're gentrification of Disney. Listen to me. I don't even know. I'm like an old guy.
Dad.
Yeah, I'm just.
Well, I think okay, so they got rid of like an OG attraction to put in the laugh floor.
Yeah,
And
what
the
was
laugh
that?
floor is one of our favorite things.
I don't even remember what that was.
I have no idea.
Oh well.
Trevin and I were talking about like the changes and about how like I was worried about some of them. I was excited about some. And he was like, well, I remember when they got rid of such and such ride. And I was like, where was that ride? And he
So,
goes,
I mean,
where the
I'm
laugh
not-
floor is, Hannah. And I'm like, I'm obsessed with the laugh floor.
I've only been to Disney twice, so
You've only been
You've
to Disney
been-
twice?
yeah, no, 3 times.
I was going to say, we
Once
went on
on
my
your
birthday.
once
With
before we went on
Pawpaw.
the cruise, and then once with Pawpaw and Nathan. Yeah, I
I've
ran
been to
into them.
Disney 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 times.
Golly, you old Disney hack.
Been to Disney a couple of times, but I have a lot of friends
Right.
that went through the Disney college program.
Exactly.
I have one of my
A good
very
friend
best friends
who still works
for Disney.
Yeah.
And so people that live there go all of the time. Like
There you go.
my friend that was in the college program would just walk there for an ice cream sundae and to watch the fireworks show. Like,
Well, I had a season pass to Kings Island, so I get it.
well, hey, I want a season pass to Kings Island. Shoot dang.
You dang.
But I don't know. So like some of it makes me sad. I hope, like, I don't want them to get rid of Country Bears. I don't want them to get rid of PhilharMagic. I don't want them to get rid of the teacups. I don't want them to get, like, there are so many rides there that are just like,
you're right.
that mean a lot to people.
I got you. I think they'll keep some of the OGs. They'll have to because of that.
Yeah.
Like, it's a small world.
They're going to keep It's a Small World. If they get
It's
rid
air
of,
conditioned.
yeah, it's air conditioned. We love air conditioning. They can get rid of Carousel of Progress. Get rid of Carousel of Progress.
I don't even know what that is.
The great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
I don't know what that is. That's funny.
Well, they're never going to get rid of it because
Or Space Mountain.
Space Mountain, yeah, goodness. They are probably never going to get rid of it because of Carousel of Progress because it was at a World's Fair.
I was going to say, what are you, against progress, Hannah?
Yeah.
You anti-progressor?
I watched that it was, yeah. But I don't know.
There you go. I'm sure
Some
they'll do
of the
fine.
some
They're
of the
not
stuff
gonna
is
be hurting.
cool. Some of the new stuff is really cool. The coolest roller coaster I've ever been on in my life was the Guardians of the Galaxy
Beast.
roller coaster.
Oh, sorry. Okay, Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, all right. Good deal.
And so who knows? Not
All
me.
right.
But I just wanted you
That's
to.
a lot of news.
I'm not going to write it all down. I'm just going to
wouldn't.
say a lot of Disney park news.
News. That's right. Listen if you want to know. Don't read the synopsis. Listen.
I'm really excited about the hanging roller coaster. I think that could be really cool.
Yeah.
I think its theme could be fun.
All right.
I'm not mad at that. I want them to bring back, or they maybe didn't actually get rid of it, but when I was there, they weren't showing it. The Indiana Jones
that was great.
show.
I know. But they're not going to do that now that they have an Indiana Jones ride. There's no way they'll do a show.
But
The show was great. The stunt show was fun. Yeah.
We'll
Even had
see.
Herbie the Love Bug. All
we'll
right.
see. Some of the theming is really cool. And there's a giant Tafiti now that's behind from Moana. Oh, Moana
yeah.
2.
Yep. Saw Moana too.
The giant,
I heard that what's his face isn't even doing the music.
He's not.
I'm not doing
Miranda,
it.
he's not doing
Not
it.
tuning in.
They made a giant Tafiti, and she's like holding her hands out, and it's
Okay.
behind the Epcot ball.
All right.
But
There you
yeah,
go, Disney folks. If you didn't know this, Hannah likes Disney.
I do.
Yeah. There you go. So that's news.
I like their
to
old school
us.
stuff. I'm not like some of the newer stuff I'm not vibing with, but that's fine.
It's okay.
Does that mean I'm old? Is that what being
No.
old is?
That means people find what they want, and we don't yuck your yum. There's still something for everybody.
Love it.
All right. Let's binge.
Yes.
I have been binging JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
You have been enjoying that.
I finished the first story, which was like 30 books with 8 chapters each or something wacky like that. I mean, it was a lot. Thank you, whoever you are on Reddit, that I now, yeah, I would buy. It would be fun to have all of these, honestly, but there's like 9 million. So I've really appreciated the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the manga. I didn't know this, but I'm reading this and like, here comes a new character. His name is Speedwagon. And then another character's name, this like monk, is named Tonpeti, Ton Petty, which is like Tom Petty. And his two disciples are Straits and Dyer. So now we have Ario Speedwagon, Tom Petty, Dire Straits, Then there are four zombies with the names of the lead of all the members of Led Zeppelin.
This is silly.
We get Pastor Sticks. So I did not know. I was like, he is just throwing out all these rock and roll.
That is hysterical. That's hysterical.
It is funny. But it's really good.
Are you reading it or are you watching it?
Reading it.
Okay.
I'm not watching it. I'm reading it.
Okay.
It's been an interesting story. So it's the first whole story is about Joseph Joestar or Jonathan Joestar. I don't know. That's why it's called JoJo. They all have JoJo. And how his dad rescued this poor couple, and their son then comes to live with them after they pass. But you find out that the son is just bad. And it's a thing where the son tries to basically take over their family. And but in the end, good prevails. But the bad kid, after he grows up, ends up becoming like a vampire and tries to, yeah. It's all out there, extreme manga style, and but it's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And now I'm on the second story, where now it's his grandson, and they just moved to America. So
right on.
I also started watching Batman: The Caped Crusader, which is the new animated Batman.
I've heard about it.
We talked about it briefly, I think. Maybe not. I can't remember. Now that I'm doing the Pull List podcast, I can't remember what news we talked about.
That's hysterical. I'm dead.
But there is a gender swapped penguin. Minnie Driver. That was the very first episode. I've watched 3. It is really good.
You liking it?
It is not for kids.
Say it again for the people in the back.
People in the back. It is not for kids. Probably 13 or older, 14 or older. There's a little bit of language. I was surprised, honestly. But the animation is like the old school animation. It's really good. I've watched an episode about the penguin, and now we're with Detective Montoya, who in the comic book becomes the Question. But yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was singing a Taylor Swift song.
Oh. Of course, I binged the Olympics. They're now over, which I'm sort of sad because there's nothing on now.
Did you see how
Tom
Cruise? Yes.
We talked about it on our news.
Didn't you like it?
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch Closing Ceremony.
I didn't watch Closing Ceremony either, but I watched Instagram clips about it.
Yeah, that was fun. And then I've been just binging travel videos for Italy on Facebook or on YouTube.
How are you feeling about it, Dad?
They just make me nervous. I need to quit watching them.
Well, hey.
I just want to have every possibility covered, which can't be done. And I think it's going to rob my joy.
I got to break something to you. It ain't going to happen.
It's going to rob my joy. So I'm done. I told your mom today, I said, I'm done looking at videos. It's whatever's going to happen is going to happen. So we might get pickpocketed, robbed, and be stuck there panhandling. Will you come get us?
Yeah.
All right. Good deal.
Love it.
All right. Oh, I saw a video. This is
Daddy.
Sorry. And it was a guy talking about, do y'all have the same 4-digit code? Like everybody in the family has the same 4-digit code. And we're like, and he goes, like that's what's going to happen. It ain't going to be like, do you have this password? It's like, what's your 4-digit code? He goes, it's a good way to keep from dating your cousin. Hey, what's your 4-digit code? Because it's funny because, anywho, go ahead.
We do.
I know.
Our family does.
We do. That's funny. That's why. So if you go to date somebody and you go, what's your 4-digit code? And they're like, it's this. We're like, oh, we might be related.
Oh, no. Oh, man.
All right. What are you binging?
Okay. I watched Atlantis, like I told you about. Atlantis, The Lost Empire. We love that show, ladies and gentlemen. It was made in 2001, and so it has that like old like the drawn animation style, well as an intro into like 3D animation. So when they like do a hard pan into 3D animation, it's like, whoa, you're doing that.
Sort of like the Brave Little Toaster.
Yeah, it's very, very sweet, very great movie, very fun. Would recommend watching. It's I would say that it's good for boys and for girls to watch. I think both will
Absolutely.
have a very good
It's
time.
an adventure.
It's an adventure. There's not there's love in it, but it's not a romance. It's
Gotcha.
more an adventure story with like affection.
It's got love. It's got fencing, villains, true love. Sorry.
Myth, disguises. I started watching this TV show called America's Sweethearts, Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders.
Oh, gosh. Yes.
Okay, let me tell you why I'm watching it.
You weigh 106 pounds. You're too fat for us now.
Do you remember me talking to you about the TV show Cheer?
Vaguely.
I watched this TV show Cheer, and it followed this like random 2-year associate college in like Texas or something. And they like always won these national cheer competitions. And it's by the same director and producer who did Cheer.
Okay.
Who did this TV show. I've only watched one episode, and I'm only watching it because I would much rather be reading, but I have to finish this cross stitch for this baby that was just born. And I'm not cross stitching if I'm reading. And so I have to watch something.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And so I started watching America's Sweethearts, Dallas Cowboy Cheerleaders. Guess how much these girls get paid? Guess how much value that they add, and guess how much they get paid.
How much they get paid? I'm going to guess. Hold on.
I don't have a number for you, but I have like approximately like a job that is approximate to
$20,000.
I told you I don't have a number value.
Well, then why'd you ask me to guess?
I'm telling you. A
Go
job.
ahead. They get paid the same as what?
They get paid as a full-time worker at Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
They get paid the same as a full-time member at Chick-fil-A.
It's my pleasure.
Ma'am. Absolutely not. What I was watching, this
How do you know? Maybe you get paid a lot of dough at the Chick-fil-A. At the Jesus
Chicken.
Chicken.
They pay you well at the Lord's Chicken. But,
Lord's, sorry, yeah.
But dang.
Mm-hmm. That's
some like skilled labor.
But, yeah. So they've got other jobs, I'm guessing, right?
This one girl is a full-time nurse.
Yeah, and then I'm
this
sure
is her hobby.
Yeah, that'd be like me, being a full-time pharmacist and on the weekends going to comic conventions.
Could not be me.
All right.
And it's August. It's back to school time, ladies and gentlemen, which means...
Are you watching like all the daggone Twilight movies?
No, that's September, October.
Okay.
Gravity Falls.
Oh, okay. Gravity Falls.
Gravity Falls is back. Mm-hmm. Back and better than ever. And I am just noticing things. And it's been so good.
I've never watched it. We need to watch it. I need to watch it. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll download them all to my computer.
And watch them on the plane.
Watch them on the plane.
Yay! Or do you know what you're going to actually end up doing? Watching like Deadpool and Wolverine on the little mini thing that's right in front of you.
Do you think that'll be on there? The new
maybe,
movie?
Honestly. Probably not, just based on how much money that they're making. But
probably not. No.
Something that you want to watch is going to be there. And if that's the case, watch that, and you can watch Gravity Falls whenever.
Yeah, that's true. Because I still haven't watched it. All right. Coolio.
But Gravity Falls, Bill Cipher, who I've talked to you about.
Yeah, that's the bad guy on Gravity Falls.
The bad guy in Gravity Falls. He is everywhere. If you've seen it before.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, you had mentioned that when you were on.
He is everywhere.
CJ's podcast.
Oh, man.
Next Gen Nerd.
It is spooky. It is spooky wooky.
That's funny when we go back and rewatch things and we'll go, wait a minute, I didn't know that.
And at the very first episode, he thinks that she's dating a zombie. Dipper thinks Mabel is dating a zombie. And Mabel's like, no, I'm not. And Dipper's like, here, this is what you're dating. And it's a picture of a gnome. And he's like, no, not that. And then he flips and shows her the zombie page.
Yes.
And then turns out that she was dating 10 gnomes in a trench coat.
Oh, gosh. It was a gnome.
And so it was a gnome. And I was like, it is a gnome.
That's funny.
And so we're just giggling about noticing and things like that.
That's good.
Yeah, so rewatching Gravity Falls. We're a couple episodes in.
All right. Good deal.
Yay!
All right. Well, we want to do pull list.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Tell everybody.
Pull list. Friends, Dad is going to share with us his pull list. A pull list is a list that you give the proprietor of your local comic book shop. And what they do is they pull from their inventory the books on the list. That way you can make sure to get every copy that you are collecting. Dad is going to share with us 5 books. He's going to share with us a Marvel book, a DC book. He's going to share with us his independent book, as well as a new number 1. If you want to start collecting comics but don't know where to start, we see you legacy numbers. They freak me out. They don't freak me out. It's actually beautiful, but it's also terrifying. And he's going to share with us his book of the week, which is his most favoriteest book that he collected all week long.
So, I actually have 4 number 1s this week.
Ooh. Lots of things for our new collectors.
I know. We'll start off with my DC book. It's issue 1, Gotham City Sirens.
Okay. Is it girls?
It is girls. And the cover is done by the Dodsons, who did all the art in Adventure Man. If you remember, I love that style of art.
Yes, we read Adventure Man.
Yes. And it stars...
Which one?
What do you mean?
Which part of Adventure Man? The like old school Adventure Man or the like...
The covers and all of that.
Oh, okay. So like the kind of like more artsy...
Yes, yeah. So the
old
covers,
school vibe.
The covers are done by them. I don't know if the interior art's done by them or not.
Because the art was different based on where they were at.
Right, but it was the same artist.
Yes.
So the Gotham Sirens, this is, of course, takes place in the midst of this absolute power garbage that's going on, but it's separate from it. And it stars Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, Catwoman.
I was going to say, is it our 3 favorite girlies?
Yes.
It's our 3 favorite girlies.
It is so much fun. I just picked it up. It was not in my pull list, but I picked it up, and so something is going on in Gotham where people are like, they have like robot avatars of themselves, and they're playing like video game.
Absolutely
like a video game where they're going and like shooting and doing crazy stuff. And you come to find out that it's all run by one lady who's running it in the background. And at the very end, it shows its punchline.
It's giving Ender's Game.
Yeah, it's pretty much like that. Or what was that crazy movie where
Spy Kids 3?
No, I don't know.
Game Over with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Because these are robot avatars literally that look like humans out in the public.
Clear?
I don't know.
Or Clean?
It was
no, it's Clear.
But anyway, so Punchline, the Joker's new main squeeze, is the one who's running it all. Good book. I added it to my
Your
pulls. The issue is it comes out every week for 4 weeks, and it's done.
So it's Bing Bang Boom.
Bing Bang Boom.
She said, "We are ready for you."
Yeah.
Bing Bang Boom.
There you go. And my next one is a Marvel. It's number 1.
Okay.
It is the Uncanny X-Men.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, they rebooted all the X-Men titles because this crazy stuff that happened at Krakoa, which I couldn't stand. And I fell off after House of X and Powers of X, which was great. And then they bait and switched me with the writer with New Mutants.
They bait and switched me.
They did. I started collecting New Mutants. And then they dumped, and then the guy who created and started the whole thing left. Anyway, so they have rebooted them all.
They bait and switched me.
They did. So this is issue 1, Legacy 701.
Hey.
But anyway, the Uncanny X-Men is the OG title. That's the one that came out in the 60s. That's the one where I have Giant Size X-Men number 1.
I was going to say, you have
and
that.
This book is refreshing. It is a good book. The characters in this book are Wolverine, Gambit, and Rogue.
The OG, some of the OGs.
Yeah. Nightcrawler. And
he's Catholic.
Well, they play around with that in here. We get a like a a new villain per se, and but it's really, really, I really enjoyed it, and I think they're introducing some new characters. Here's an interesting that Marvel is doing now. In the back of some of their books, after the book says at the end, they put a giant QR code where you can scan that QR code and see another page of art of
Are you
page of
doing
the
it?
story. I am.
Do you have to pay for it?
I don't, but it irritates me
What about it makes you irritated?
because there's no physical copy of it.
So it feels like a scam, or it feels like
No, I mean,
a
like
cheap thing to do?
what happens? Like when the world comes to an end and the internet's down and all I have are my comic books, I'm going to miss this one page.
Dang QR code.
I know it'll be useless. Or when the EMP goes off. I mean, hey, don't laugh at me. You know, your husband buys DVDs.
I have 2 boxes of dehydrated food to keep me in Memphis, Dad.
There you go.
That's
So-
who my husband is. I love
Yeah.
you so much, Trevin.
There
if
you
you're
go.
listening to this, you're my
That's true.
favorite.
So anyway, I'm hoping we'll see when the next issue comes out. I hope that page is included.
Okay.
If it's not, I'm going to be upset. but
Okay.
they
Do
don't
we need
care.
to sign a petition or start a petition?
Well, maybe so.
I'll start a petition for you, Dad.
Okay.
My dad says this QR code is dumb. Give us the page.
Give us the page in real life. I don't need an NFT.
I
thank
would
you.
like it IRL. Thank you. I'll type it out for you.
There you go. My independent is from EC, which is Entertaining Comics. This is
I'm sorry,
old.
EC?
E is in Edward, C is in Comics.
Okay.
Entertaining Comics is the name of it.
I'm just
EC
is it
Comics have
EC
been.
or is it Entertaining Comics?
It's EC is what people call it.
Okay.
It's called Entertaining Comics.
I'm just gonna write EC then when I type it out.
All right.
When I
There you go. Yes. So it is, they are bringing back a lot of these. There used to be books in the 50s that were like on the cutting edge of storytelling, and they got in trouble because they showed stuff they shouldn't show, not necessarily
because of the
nudity,
comics guy, because
and
the
that's
comics
where
code.
and that's where Frederick Wortham went to Congress, and they did the hearings and came up with the comics code, mostly because of books published from these folks. So they have started.
Was Wonder Woman originally in EC?
No, Wonder Woman is it before it was DC. It was something else.
That's what I was gonna say. Was it EC?
No, it was not.
Okay. I watched that
can't
movie.
remember. Can't remember. But anyway, this is called
The movie was wild.
EC Cruel Universe. So this is their second book that they put out, but the first one under the Cruel Universe. I did not
Cool
get
or cruel?
cruel,
Okay.
mean.
Okay.
So,
I was like, cool universe.
yeah, and so there are 4 stories by big artists and writers of the day, and each one is a contained story.
And this is
all having
episode
to do-
2?
No, this is issue 1, but this is the second book that EC put out. They put out one about horror last time. So they're going to put out a horror book, a science fiction book, the different ones, and then they'll continue them. And it's really good. So this one right here was their sci-fi book, which I enjoyed. And it's not really, it's
It
no
looks old
worse.
school.
Yeah, it does. And it's no worse than anything else you're going to read. So anyway, there you go. My new number 1
New number one.
was put in my pools by accident.
Hey.
I probably should have told them, because I think somebody probably didn't get this book and wanted it.
Dad says, oops. Not my
Oops.
fault.
I know. Well, I did see it in there, but I said, oh, okay, I'll have to keep it. It is The Power Fantasy number 1 by Image.
Okay. The Power Fantasy number 1 by Image.
It is drawn by Casper Wingard, the guy who did Homesick Pilots.
Oh, we love Homesick Pilots rocks.
Written by Kieran Gillen, who just finished up doing some Eternal stuff, has written some other really off-the-wall stuff. But this is about, it starts out with 2 heroes, and they're talking to one another. Well, I don't know if they're heroes. They're super-powered individuals talking to one another, probably in the 60s, 70s, I think. And they're talking about, they're basically the strongest ones. Like, what would happen if I go bad? And she's like, I'd kill you. And he goes, well, maybe you should kill me now because you are the good person. And it wouldn't happen, because they have this big philosophical discussion about what should happen. And so what happens
when you reach just psychology, your psychology fact of the day is there are different stages of development. And when you reach sort of like end life, you go through the stage of generativity versus stagnation. So it's what am I what is my legacy going to be? Like, what am I offering the next generation? Like, what kind of like story am I leaving behind? So it's kind of the vibe I'm getting. It was like a generativity versus stagnation, like philosophical conversation.
Yeah. So, and then what happens is this is about, it's a fantasy of who holds the power.
Yeah.
Because then we jump into the future and it's about superpowers being like the world superpowers, like United States versus this. And then you've got these other superpowered beings and like what's going to happen. I can do this. And like one of them just like puts his big ship right in front of like the White House or whatever to show I can do whatever I want.
What are you going to do?
So what happens is they, the White House basically, or whoever, I can't remember if it was the White House. I have to go back and look. They authorize firing of a weapon that they had secretly created to kill the guy, but it doesn't kill him. It like cuts him in half, but he comes back together, but it kills a bunch of other stuff. And then he's like, well, I'm going to wipe them all out. Well, the guy who talks with the other woman at the beginning of the book goes, hold on, I'll take care of this. Like, you can't be doing this. First of all, you can't show up and treat people like this and expect them not to react this way.
Yeah.
But you're right. They shouldn't have acted that way. But I don't want you to go destroy New York City because of what happened. So what do you want to what do you want? He goes, I want them to pay for what they did. And he goes, well, what does that look like to you? And he's like, I want everyone who knew about this killed and their families and even their children. He said, no, you can't do kids.
No.
He goes, well, just kids of the ones who knew, not the people who worked on it or whatever. And that guy basically kills these people. And so this book is going to be really wild and get into some deep philosophical discussions about where power lies. So I'm collecting it. Anyway.
It's giving The Boys.
No, maybe. I hope not, because if it is, I'll drop it. I can't stand The Boys is too much for me. So, yeah.
I haven't watched much of The Boys. I watched the first little bit of the first episode, kind of saw where the episode was trending to go. Yeah, asked Trevin, is this the way that it's trending? Is that real? And he went, yes. And I said, turn it off.
Yeah. It's, I mean, some people love it. I can't watch that show. Yeah.
But some of the it seems like that's what they are, kind of toying with in that show is like, what does power do and who has power? Right.
This book doesn't seem that naughty.
Okay, fair.
So I don't know if it is or not. All right. My book of the week.
Book of the week. It's the book of the week.
It is Daredevil issue 12.
Oh, we love Daredevil.
And I was on the verge of dropping Daredevil, and then it turned around so fast. And Daredevil has been battling the deadly sins, 7 deadly sins, and they have manifested in either villains or friends of his. Like Gluttony took over She-Hulk, and he had to battle She-Hulk.
She's green.
What else was there? I can't remember who they all were. Spider-Man was...
Wrath, Sloth.
Wrath was, I believe, Wolverine.
Okay.
One was Spider-Man. But anyway, he is battling greed.
Ooh.
And it has manifested itself in Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin.
Of course it has. The last 2 issues
have just been amazing. Amazing.
Is it the Kingpin we know and love?
Yeah, it's Kingpin we know and love.
Good.
Not no Kingpin in a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, Kingpin in a Hawaiian shirt does not exist.
So hold on, let me see if I can get who they were. So one of them manifested in Elektra, Peter Parker, Wolverine, She-Hulk.
Okay.
And now he's on, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is just the 5th one, right?
So it's pride, greed, lust, wrath, gluttony, envy, sloth.
Yeah. So sloth was, I think, Peter Parker. So
How do you battle sloth?
the thing about it is that he ends up having to face his own sins in those areas in order to defeat them. And as a believer, this book is so good because as we know, if you didn't know, Matt Murdock is a priest as well in this.
Oh, I knew he was Catholic, but he's high key a priest.
In this, he came back to life as a priest.
I mean, pop off, I guess.
And he's like, he is fighting. Hold on. So he's fighting Kingpin, and he thinks about these thoughts about his old enemy raising his hand to me, not in anger. Oh, hold on. That's before that. Let me get to it. I want to read it to you.
Read it to me, Dad.
At one point, he's knocked almost unconscious, and his dad appears to him. Like Daredevil says, in my supreme arrogance and my lust for war, I've treated the word of God as just another weapon. And so I've had that taken from me. And then he hears his dad said, crikey, what a whiny load of crap. He says, give me a break, son. Now I'm dead. How the bleep could I be talking to you? Maybe I'm a memory, a delusion, or a voice in your head, or maybe, just maybe, a reminder from the man upstairs. There it goes. Neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come shall be able to separate you from the love of God.
Amen.
You've been a good priest, son. I know, because a lot of people count on you. So get up your bleep and get off the mat. And then he has him and Kingpin go to it. And at the end, he says, my old enemy raises his hand to me, not in anger, but in supplication. And Kingpin's on his knees, and he said, bless me, Father, for I have sinned.
Aww.
So this is so good. There's so much to be talked about in there.
That's so
Daredevil.
tender.
Blam.
Daredevil fighting Kingpin. Aw, that's so tender.
That is funny.
Words you wouldn't think.
We have talked an awful lot tonight about a lot of things. Do we want to?
Well, we can talk about the comic book, and I just won't rotten raspberry you.
Okay.
Is that
All
okay?
right, that's great. Yeah. Hannah and I read a comic book last year. DC put out a series of books called Batman One Bad Day, and they each dealt around a single villain. So they made one for the Joker. They made one for, I don't know if they did the Joker, come to think of it.
I think they did.
They did Bane, Croc, Catwoman, Clayface.
Clayface. I don't know who Clayface is, but that's funny.
A whole bunch of them. And I believe that Clayface is the villain in the Batman TV show I'm watching right now, and that little animated. But anyway, this was Batman. This was the first one that came out. Batman One Bad Day, the Riddler. And the reason I chose it was because it's by Tom King, who I love, who writes all the stuff I love, written and drawn by Mitch Gerards, who also drew the Mr. Miracle, Big Barda book.
Yes, we read that.
And a couple other of the books that we've read. I believe he drew the Stranger Tales and maybe Human Target. I'm not sure. But anyway.
A lot of words.
A lot of words. Did you see the cover? Did you notice the Batman in his jacket on the cover?
I did.
I never noticed that until today.
I looked at all of the, I was talking to my roommates about, like, they asked me if I'm doing the podcast every Tuesday and like what we're reviewing. And I was like, oh, I had to read this comic. And they had all the variant covers at the end of the comic.
Yes, I saw that.
And so I showed her all of the variant covers and she was like, woo. And I was like, yeah, he's spooky. This is the best. This is the awfulest one. Are you ready?
Yeah, show me. I'll see if it's the one I thought's the awfulest one. Yeah, that's
the awfulest one.
But do you know who did that? Okay, that artist is Brian Bolland.
Brian Bolland.
He's the one who drew The Killing Joke, the mosaic.
Oh, Classic.
Yes. He's the one.
Trevin, what is Trevin reading? He's reading The Last Halloween.
Oh, yeah. The Long Halloween.
The Long Halloween. Trevin had never read The Long Halloween. I was like, you've never read The Long Halloween?
Getting ready for the new one that comes out.
This Joker's face was spooky too.
The Riddler, you mean?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, you remember that one time I was the Riddler?
I do remember. I still have that outfit downstairs.
I was the Riddler, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. And I was the Joker, and Mom was Batman, and Miriam was Two-Face, and Nathan was Indiana Jones. Anyway.
That was the best.
I know. So, Hannah, tell them what this book was about.
Okay. This book follows the Riddler, and we get some backstory of the Riddler. But he, instead of like laying down a merry chase for Batman, just up and just shoots a guy in the middle of everything downtown, waits for the police to come and get him, and then flashes a card that has Batman's insignia on it to
I'm not going to talk to anybody but Batman.
And he's like, I want to talk to Batman. And then he is just bonkers. Yeah,
it plays mind games with like
everybody, with his cellmate, with the guards in the prison. And all of the while, Batman is like, why is he acting like this? And is like doing like investigative stuff to kind of like figure out what was the catalyst.
Yes. And
his teacher
was a great teacher.
I feel really bad for him, honestly, because the Riddler, you come to find out in this universe that the reason the Riddler like killed his teacher, and the thing that probably led him to that was like physical and psychological abuse from his dad.
Yes. And that the teacher at the end of the exams, so Edward was in a school where he had to excel because his dad was the head schoolmaster.
And if he didn't,
he was young, he would get beat. And he got hundreds on everything, but not the final question, which wasn't considered extra credit. And it was always a riddle. And he didn't think it was fair. And so
which honestly is not.
It's not fair. You're right. It's not.
And I would have, if I kept getting them wrong, you would have encouraged me to say something to the teacher as well.
100%. But I wouldn't want you to bash his head in on the basketball court.
Well, I'm not saying that what he did was appropriate. And I feel sorry for him. He was powerless.
Yes.
He was truly powerless. The way that he chose to take power was the way that he had been modeled to seize power.
Right.
By harming someone. That does not make harming someone appropriate or okay. Just because a behavior is understandable does not mean the behavior is acceptable. Like, we can understand why.
Correct. Right.
And it makes me sad. I got some aw.
So if at the end of this, not at the end, but 2/3 of the way through, they let the Riddler go.
Mm-hmm.
He's in jail, but like, they won't wait. People won't do anything because the guards won't do anything. Some of the guards killed themselves because he knows he's so smart. Basically, he's considered like probably the smartest person, and he knows who Batman is. And why do they let him go, Hannah?
Because none of the guards will come up to him or to do anything to him. And even Commissioner Gordon, he like knows stuff about Commissioner Gordon and his family. And they just let him go. Yeah.
They let him go. And basically,
and then he becomes Kingpin, essentially, of Gotham.
Basically, like, everybody's afraid to do anything. Like, people turn themselves in because
people turn up dead. And It's like, did he do it or did they do it themselves? Like, what's going on there?
Yeah. At one point, he says something like, well, I wasn't the kid who got scared in the middle of Zorro and had to ask my parents to leave the theater. Like, he basically banks on the fact that
Batman has too much mercy to do anything about it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then Batman says, I have mercy, but not that much, my guy.
Yeah. At the end of the book, it's basically like, I can give it away because it's been out it's really good. You should read it.
It's brutal.
But at the end of the book, the last 2 pages, it's the Riddler getting dressed and listening to things like that he's planted, like listening devices, and he's listening to Batman talk and talking about it being smart enough and all this kind of stuff. And then he goes, he says, he assumes, this is Batman talking, that I can't change. And Riddler thinks he's talking to Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
That I can't question myself, that I cannot let go of my own reins, that there is no limit to my mercy. And he assumes that this isn't a recording, that I'm actually on the rooftop, actually saying these things. Riddle me this, Edward, though we meet but once, you know me forever thereafter. What am I? Do you know what that is?
Is it death?
It's death. Yes. And then you see, looking in the mirror, Riddler puts the hat on. Yeah.
Have like they're 3x3, so there are 9 panels.
9 panels.
So a lot of these have 9 panels on each page. And what Dad just read is the first 5 panels. And then the next, so he's like listening to this recording and he's putting on his hat. And as he puts in his hat, he looks in the mirror and Batman's silhouette is behind him. And then the next 4 panels are all black.
And then it says the end.
And it says the end. And I was like, did it not load? Like, did it not load? Or is it?
I got you.
Sunk into Unlimited. Yes. And I was like, it didn't load the last little bit. And then I looked at it and it said the end. And I was like, ooh, it did. It did load.
There it did. So.
Y'all, this is brutal. This is brutal. There's gore in it. And so if that's not something that you like to deal with, don't watch it.
Yeah, it's mature.
There's like abuse.
There's child abuse in it.
There's child abuse. There's neglect in it. There is
adults of the night.
Yeah.
So this is not for children. This is a mature book for sure. But and I must say, of those One Bad Day books that came out, I think this was the best.
This is the best one.
I think so, yeah.
Trevin,
there were a couple others that were good, but this one was the best.
Good thing to know. Trevin wants these.
Well, I think you can get them all. There may be all of them, like
in a trade.
I think something of that nature.
Gotcha.
They did just a thing just recent. We'd have to look it up, but yeah.
But just a heads up.
I got them all. So, yeah, folks. Hey, we are coming to the end of our doodad thing. We're going to take a couple week hiatus. We have
one more, and then it's going to be a couple weeks off. We're not doing the 3rd. We're not doing the 20th. Never mind.
No, we're
going to take a couple weeks off.
Yep.
Peace and love. We'll be back in September.
We will. That's right. Because I'm hoping to have time to go to an Italian comic book shop.
That'd be sick.
It would be sick. I don't know if we'll have time or not.
You'll have time. Make time.
There's not time. We got
Dad,
so much.
If you're doing too much, it's not going to be fun.
No, we'll have fun because there's so much to see. All right.
Well, after you come back, me and my mans are going to have to go because I can't be the only Turner kid that hasn't been to Italy.
No kidding. Got to do it.
Yeah.
You've been to Australia and England. So I don't want to hear it.
I have. We'll go to Germany, I think, before we go to Italy. But,
okay, cool. All right. Hannah, end roll.
Friends, thanks for hanging out with us. We're so glad to have you chill with us in our little corner of the internet. Hey, our intro music is created and composed by Brockwell Nason. Thanks for doing that for us. Our art was made by my brother in Microsoft Paint. He is wonderful and talented. Nate, thanks for doing that for us. Dad creates and maintains our web YouTube's videos,
which has been pretty good lately.
Speak words. And I edit and upload our audio form of the podcast.
There you go. Yeah. So guys, thank you so much for joining us and hanging with us, especially you folks that are live and not live. We'd love to hear from you. Yes. You know how to get a hold of us. So just send messages. Tell us what you think we should. Maybe you've got a book you think would be cool or a movie for us to review. And maybe you're one of these HBO executives and you want to give us the first shot at looking at your next project.
We will.
We will.
And we'll tell you what we think of it. And we'll use adjectives like, we really liked it.
Awesome.
That was really cool.
Or you really want to go with that?
Are you sure?
Yes. Until next time, folks, we will
catch you on the flippity flop.
Bye, guys.
Sweet friends.